Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Nacho Friday, even though it's Sunday. So we are playing with the recording feature here on Meal Prep Sundays with the Dfam because we want to bring you some really fun guests in the future, and they're not always going to be available at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. So StreamYard just came out with the fact that we can record, so we are recording, and we thought we would start with Nacho Friday. Before I explain Nacho Friday and what Steve does for me almost every single week, I'll tell you a little bit about what Meal Prep Sundays with the Dfam is all about. Our family, the Drake family, decided to come together to inspire and uplift other families. And we decided to start with meal prep because everybody eats. It's great for your body. It's great for your bank account. We all have physical and financial goals. So we encourage you to meal prep with us, have a financial goal, and then stick to that goal through meal prepping every single week for yourself or your family as well. Everybody eats. You might eat 3 times, you might eat 5 times a day. Do the math, 3 to 5 times a day, times 7 days a week, times the number of people that you are responsible for in your household. That's a lot of meals. Doesn't it make sense to systemize around that? So that's what Meal Prep Sundays is all about. And we are so excited to bring you Nacho Friday tonight. Steve, did you want to say anything about Nacho Friday, or do you want me to?
Well, I'm going to say most of it, but you just explain why it's special.
So Nacho Friday is very special. We started doing it in 2016 when I was really working hard on fitness, and I eat usually on a good day 6 times a day. So 6 times a day times 7 days a week, that's 42 meals. I had 41 meals for fuel and 1 meal for fun, and that fun meal was Nacho Friday. And we just kept doing it, and it's been so fun over the years. The kids know what's happening on Friday, so they come around, and their friends know what's going on, so those friends come around. We've experimented with all sorts of different types of nachos. Steve might talk about that while he's making ours for tonight. We started with a real basic nacho here tonight for you. But here's the thing. On Friday nights, I sometimes work until 6 or 7 o'clock at night. And so Steve generally gets home from work at 5 or 6, and he has a whole protocol of what he does when he gets home from work. So I look forward to it every single Friday. It makes my day. I think about it all day. And then Friday night is finally a time to exhale. That's kind of like our fun date together, even though we don't really go out. It's our date night together. We usually go for a walk, or we'll sit down and watch a movie together. And so with that being said, we always start with a financial update, our weekly financial update. Steve, do you have those numbers handy?
Yeah, I do. I've got them right in front of me. So Margot and I are at 5.44% to goal. Slowly but surely. It's a big goal, so that's good. We're happy about that. Stevie, last week was 62%. This week he's 55%. So Stevie spent some of his savings, which is totally normal. Like 3 steps forward, 1 step back. Totally normal. But that's the first time he's done that. So we're still super proud of him. He'll catch up so fast. Ellie is at 23.7%, and Teddy is at 70%. And I think 70 is awesome, but she also has spent a chunk of that she was saving for. It was for her rent at Michigan State. So, and she, set the goal, saved the money, and got it done. So it's great.
Yep.
That's where we are this week.
That's right. So we are staying focused on that. And Steve and I, even though it seems like it is going egregiously slow, we are ahead of schedule. So originally we planned to have our goal happen, our financial goal happen before the next election. And we are going to finish, which is November of 2024. And we are actually going to finish most likely on or before our anniversary, which is August 1st, 2024.
That would be awesome.
The cool thing when we start thinking about it is how everything's going to compound as we keep moving forward. So it's really fun to look forward to. In the meantime, we get to make really good food, have a refrigerator stocked with good food. I get to bring food to my mom every week and share our recipes with you. So tonight, Steve, do you want to tell them what you're going to make?
Yeah, you gotta let me roll because I gotta start cooking here.
I will.
We are making nachos, just our basic nachos. I'm making my fresh guacamole with, you'll see how I do it. It's amazing. And I'm making Margot's very favorite gluten-free cookies. And these are super special. And that's what I'm going to do first because of timing.
White chocolate chip macadamia nut cookies.
Yep.
I'll stop talking so he gets to the cookie making. So I am signing off, everybody. I'm going to get back to work here. And Steve, you can take it over.
All right. We'll get Margot the heck out of here. How about that? And I'm going to add to the stream the food cam. Okay. So that is our taco meat. That's what we use on the nachos. And I'll get to that in a second. But what I'm going to make first is these cookies so I can get the dough done and get them in the oven. Because this is exactly, you guys, I really wanted to show you what our Nacho Friday is like. I'm going to go through every little step that I do, every tradition, and show you what I do on a typical Friday. Generally, what we do on a Nacho Friday is something, we're celebrating something. And this week, we sent Teddy off to college again. So we are empty nesters. So we're celebrating Teddy heading off to school and then us being empty nesters. And for anyone who's been through that, it's a time to celebrate. It's kind of a big achievement to send your kids off out into the world. Okay, let me get these cookies going, okay? What I'm gonna do is move the food cam over where I'm assembling all the cookie stuff, and we'll take it from there, okay? Let me see. Make sure we get this thing. Okay, that's where we'll have the cookie assembly area. And Margot, so when I make the taco meat, I'll tell you what I put in it, and there's a recipe, but there's not a huge rhyme or reason. If you put too much paprika in it, it's not a big deal. If you put too much chili powder in it, it's not a big deal. Margot taught me that cooking is art and baking is a science. When I looked that up once, she didn't say that. Someone else said that. But it's very true. So what I'm going to show you is how I make these cookies, the actual ingredients I use, because I've tried to change some of the ingredients and they don't turn out the same. So I'm going to tell you exactly the ingredients that I use so that you can try to mimic these cookies. So these are gluten-free cookies. So those of you who have a gluten intolerance, you'll be really happy. But those of you that have a nut allergy are going to suffer because peanut butter is a big part of these cookies. So if you can't have peanut butter, I apologize. They are so good. And it's also a dough that you can use for several different cookies. You can just use it for peanut butter cookies and they taste awesome. And in the email, the recipe that we send out, there's a version that makes dark chocolate chip cookies. There's a version that makes the ones that we're going to make tonight, which is white chocolate macadamia nut cookies. And then you can just use the dough plain. They're so good. Okay, here we go. I have to make sure I have the recipe so I can rattle off what I'm putting in. Okay, the recipe is called Margot's Gluten-Free Cookies, but we're making the version tonight that is the white macadamia nut, okay? So the first thing we have to do is make the dry ingredients, okay? And that's gonna be 1 3/4 cups of, 1 3/4 cups of gluten-free baking flour. And now I have to show you exactly what this is, because this is one of those things that I've tried to change, and it never. I've used coconut flour, I've used almond flour, I've used so many different flours, and the only thing that I can use that makes these cookies right is this Bob's Red Mill gluten-free all-purpose baking flour. and I actually have to go to a special, not a special store, it's just a larger supermarket. We shop at a small market here in downtown Grand Rapids, so I have to go to a larger store to get it. And I buy like 5 bags at a time just so I don't have to make that trip very often. So that is really important, okay? And that's the flour that I use. And then in that, I take a teaspoon of baking soda, just typical baking soda. That goes in with the dry ingredients. A half teaspoon of salt, and we just use sea salt, kind of coarse sea salt. One of the interesting things that Teddy and I talked about the last time I made these is that we use coarse salt and we use coarse sugar. So this is the granulated, it's turbinado sugar. It's like raw cane sugar, and it's coarse. And what we found is that when you chew on the cookies, the sugars and the salt, they kind of stay big, and you get these little flavor spikes of savory and sugar at the same time, and it makes these very interesting. It might sound gross how I just explained it, but believe me, it's really, really good. Okay, so that is the dry portion, and I give it a little kind of a whisk just to mix everything together. Okay, that's it. And now we have to do the wet stuff. And the wet stuff is, I'll come back to this. The wet stuff is 1 cup of, I'm sorry, not a cup. It's a half a cup of I can't believe it's not butter. That's this stuff. And that's another thing that I've tried multiple things. We used to use, Margot used to make these vegan cookies. That's how it started. And then we started using, I can't believe it's not butter, but we used to use Smart Balance Original, and that is something that you can use. But what I've found with these tubs, so this is a 15-ounce tub of this stuff. And if you just slice it off in quarters, a quarter of this tub ends up being that half a cup that you want. And I put it in here at room temperature, so it's nice and gooey. Oh, this is going to be perfect. Okay, got that. Put the top on this and put it back. And, excuse me, also I put a third of a cup of peanut butter. Let me use the same knife. We just use organic peanut butter, the kind that doesn't turn to oil. Excuse me. All right, that goes in there. Peanut butter and a half a cup of sugar in the raw, and that's just really coarse sugar. That goes in there. Come on, baby. And a half a cup of brown sugar. Okay? Hold on, bear with me. I'm gonna open a can of. Have you ever tried this Waterloo stuff? It's really good. It's like seltzer water. I need to take a sip of something. Oh, that's better. Okay. So far, so good. Oh, and let me skip to 1 tablespoon of vanilla. That goes in there. And then something that's different. So remember I said Margot used to make this vegan? Well, eggs are in, a lot of baking goods. And what she used to do to get around eggs is use flax meal. And if flax meal this is all ground up flaxseed, and it's a great binder. So what we do is 1 tablespoon of this flaxseed meal, and then we mix it with 3 tablespoons of kind of warm tap water. And that makes kind of a liquidy paste. So let me get 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. And then I just mix it. I mix it right with the tablespoon spoon. That's about the consistency that we have. So it's not paste. It's just kind of a thick thing. If you let this sit for a little while, it will thicken up. But I put it in just like that. Okay? Cool. So the next thing I need to do is mix all this up, and I just use a spatula. Oh, you guys, these are so good, I swear. So what I'll show you the whole process that I have when I make this. This becomes kind of a thick, runny stuff. Oh, it's perfect. Because right now, the butter was really soft. Sometimes I screw up and I don't get the butter out of the refrigerator, butter substitute, out of the refrigerator fast enough. So I have to like work it a little bit more. But that's what the wet stuff looks like. You can kind of see the consistency of that. And that's going to go right in with the dry stuff. And for any of you that have had gluten-free baked goods before, you know they're all kind of, I don't know, I don't want to disrespect any gluten-free bakers, but it's just kind of weird. If you've had gluten-free bread that falls apart, you know, normally when someone tells you, oh, this is gluten-free, your first reaction is, oh, man, it's just not something you die for. But I promise you, if you make these cookies the way I'm doing it right now, you will be shocked how good they are. I've been making these cookies for my kids. Margot's been making them for years, and none of their friends have ever said, oh, those cookies are so weird and gross. They turn out to be fantastic cookies. Now, at this point, you guys, it depends on your patience. Sometimes you can take this with your hands and squish it, and wash your hands first, take your rings off. But it turns out just fine if you do it like that. I'm just going to do it by hand because I don't think squishing it into my fingers is made for YouTube or Facebook. Okay, so that's where I am right now. I'm going to put the white chocolate chips in there right now, and I'll keep mixing it. So I have a little bag of, you see those? These are just roasted macadamia nuts, and I'll show you how I chop them. It's going to be kind of loud. I just take them, this is our rolling pin. I just take the rolling pin and I smash them up without opening the bag. I did this once for Margot on a phone call, a business call. Man, she was so mad at me. And I wasn't even thinking. I was just like going to town on the macadamia nuts. All right, that's good. We should not use our teeth to open things. Our teeth are jewels, not tools. Sorry. All right, that goes in there. Okay, I really got it. I'm very tempted to just start squishing this with my hands, you guys. But it's coming together. When it's done, it'll be kind of caramel brown in color and all mixed together. It's coming. It's coming. All right, man. The other thing I did was I pre-made the taco meat because showing you how ground turkey browns is not a whole lot of fun. So I'll tell you all the ingredients and how I did it, but it's all done right now. We'll have that fast. The next thing I'm going to do after the cookies, I'll get the cookies in the oven. I'm going to make the guacamole. And that's fun. I can tell you a lot of little secrets that I do. The taco meat we also made a couple weeks ago. We had a ground meat extravaganza. So you can see that. We've done that a few different times. All right, you guys. I think it's good to go. So take a look at that. It's very thick, but it's still kind of crumbly. Don't worry about that. Okay, I'm going to get it on. We bake with these Silpat things. They are really good. All right, this is one of my traditions for Margot, because I know when she's working, I generally catch her at about 6:30, right about now. It's Friday night. She's put in a huge day. We've been talking about Nacho Friday. And what I always do is give her, oh, the other thing, I use like a melon baller. You see that? That's about the size cookie. It's about an inch. But what I do is I give her 2 scoops of cookie dough. And it right there, that is her very special treat while I'm cooking. The other thing I do is we always have the same champagne. It's not champagne. It's a Brut Rosé from El Mobby up in Traverse City. It's called Sex. Kind of a cheesy name, but oh well. It's really, really good. That is a very sacred tradition with Nacho Friday. Pink bubbly cookies and nachos. All right, so that's Margot's little treat. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go deliver that to her right now. Okay, so bear with me. I gotta stick to the program, right? All right, guess who's a happy camper right now? Very happy. Cool, you guys. All right, here we go. And this, the rest of this, will fill up this whole board. Why are you coming out? You're supposed to be working. Do you love your cookie dough? Awesome. These smell really good, Margot. Margot walked into my recording space here. So I guess I scoop it, but then I have to push it in there. One, to get kind of the edge stuff off. Oh, so good. I don't know why these are like the perfect size. They just are. It's not one of the little melon ballers. It's kind of a little bit bigger. But they end up being, I literally bought this for, I don't ball melons. I made cookies. I bought this for cookies. This thing is what is this brand? You've got all the rubber handles. What is it? Cutco. No, it's not Cutco. It's the brand that has all of the.
Oh, OXO.
OXO, that's what it is. It's OXO brand. It's really good. All right, 3 minutes. These babies are going to be in the oven, and I set the oven at 375 degrees. It's been on for a while, so as soon as these cookies are out, I'm going to turn the broiler on for the nachos. So you guys are going to see the whole deal. As soon as we're done, we're eating nachos.
What about guac?
We'll have guac. Jeez.
You said you were doing nachos next.
No, I'm just turning the oven on. The broiler. All right, we're getting down to the bottom. A couple more scoops and we're good to go. Look at that. It's almost perfect. Yeah, this one is little. Little. Okay. That one's teeny. Actually, I have to make it into a proper ball. Okay, that's it. So I don't squish them. I don't do anything. Margot cleans the kitchen up as we go. I can't do it alone. Yum. Okay, these are going to go in the oven for See those? This is the before. They're going to go in the oven for 13 minutes. Hey Alexa, set a cookie timer for 13 minutes. And that has been an argument between Margot and I, the time. And believe me, I've made these cookies more than Margot. I'm not bragging, but you know. Okay, now we're going to do the guac. The guac is fun. While those cookies cook, we're going to do the guac. And the other thing, the guac is a little bit of a specialty of mine, y'all. So, when you pick an avocado, this one is not super soft, but you'll see how I do it. I'll get it soft. Pick an avocado that's pretty soft. And in Michigan, it's just hard to get really ripe avocados. Sometimes they're like overripe and rotting, and other times they're hard as a rock. One of the things you can find is this little cap on the stem. If you peel that off and it's green under there, it's still good. But sometimes if it feels ripe and you peel that off and it's brown on there, don't buy it. That one has it's rotting inside. Okay. So I'll show you also how I cut avocados. I go around like this. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, you can. I'll leave that like that because I'm going to do both of them. Go all the way around. You twist them and they come apart. And then you got to get that out. You very carefully, don't bang your finger or anything. Pop the knife into the pit a little bit and you twist it and it comes right out. Cool, huh? And I save one of those. You'll see why. Take that out. Cool. And I take a spoon and watch. I kind of squish it a little bit because we're just squishing it anyhow. And then I chop it a little bit with the spoon. And then I scoop it in. It just kind of makes our job a little easier, a little faster. Here, I'll pick this stuff up later. So now that I've showed you how to do that, I'll go a little bit faster. So this guac is, you don't have to buy those packets in the produce department. You really don't. This is exactly how they do it in restaurants, right in front of you, fancy restaurants where they charge you an arm and a leg for the guac. There's only, I don't even know, 4 or 5 ingredients in this, and it is really good. Okay, got the avocado, and what I'm told is this is the meat of the avocado. Okay, and I'm also going to show you another special tool that I use. Oh, so we put tomato and onions in it. I think what I said was that's about a quarter to a half a cup, and onions about the same. Okay. The rest of this is for the nachos. Next, I'm going to do lime juice. Lime juice is really important, okay? And depending on how much juice is in the lime, you'll see I do about 2 tablespoons of juice. I'm going to do the other half of this lime. And you almost, I don't want to say you can't do too much lime juice, but I suppose you can. Okay, so that was juice of 1 whole kind of lame-o Midwest lime. It's not bad. Okay, but the reason that you do that is for flavor, but then also when I'm mixing it and making it mushy, it helps. That liquid helps to do that. Okay, next 2 things I have to put in are jalapeno and salt. That's it. And I like, jalapeno is totally about your heat level. I have found that about a 2.5-inch jalapeno is perfect for a 2 avocado batch of guac. We like it kind of spicy, One way to cut down on the heat is to cut the jalapeno open and take the seeds out. That's really where a lot of the heat comes from. So you could do that, and you end up getting the flavor of the jalapeno. And there is flavor to jalapeno. But you don't get all the heat. But we just like it. The longer this sits, and I don't mean for hours and hours, but I just mean minutes, it will warm up a little bit. I need to chop this a little more. Okay, that's good. Oh, yum. Okay, and I have to rinse my hands off whenever I do that. Otherwise, I get jalapeno in my eye. Done that a few times. Okay, another trick that I have. Have you guys ever seen one of these? It's used for cutting herbs. It's like you go like that to cut herbs. Guess what? I mentioned that sometimes avocados in the Midwest are not ripe. Well, guess what? This thing helps to chop everything up quickly. So I use this thing. It's a little loud, but it helps me break everything down to the point where then I can start mixing it and get it a little mushier. And this is also where sometimes people like chunky guac. Sometimes people like it mushy. I gotta put salt in here. And also, put a little more salt than you would think you need. For some reason, that works for me. I don't know why. But I've kind of been shocked by the amount of salt that I put in, and it still tastes really good. Okay, it's time to mush. Oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Those avocados were really good. They were good, and I didn't get organic avocados or anything like that. I just got regular Hass avocados. I've tried, there's a type of avocado that comes from Florida. Some of them come from Texas. They're really big. I've tried to make guac with those, but I've never had success. Sorry about that, Florida avocado people. All right, I'm gonna try it. Oh man, it is perfect. It is perfect. And this will sit here for a little while until before we eat, and it'll warm up. The jalapeno will come out a little bit more, and it'll be the perfect flavor. Okay, so one of the ways that I garnish my guacamole is I take the pit, I clean it all off, and I put it in there with it. Looks kind of cool, but also there's an old wives' tale that says the enzymes from the pit help the guac or the avocado not turn brown too fast. It will eventually, no matter what. But there. You can also put a little chip in there. Okay, I can't eat all these chips because I need them for my nachos. Mm-hmm. You guys, we're so close. We are so close. All right, I'm going to leave this here, and we're going to eat right here. I think I can move all this. Yeah, I can move all this. We're done. Alexa, how much time on the timer? 4 minutes. 4 minutes. So I actually have to wait. You know what I'm going to do? Come over here and show you guys how I make the taco meat. So you can see this is already cooked. Part of the recipe is what I do is I ground turkey, 2 pounds of turkey, and I brown it, and then I put half of one of these, which is about a cup of medium paste salsa. That goes in there, and then I put chili powder, paprika, a little bit of onion powder, and cumin. And look on the recipe that I sent because it's more than you think. Actually, I can look at it. It's a cup of salsa, tablespoon of cumin, a tablespoon of chili powder, a tablespoon of paprika, and then a half a tablespoon of the onion powder, And then that's after it's all brown. And then I put about a cup of water in there and let the whole thing bubble and simmer, okay? And this is what it looks like. I actually put I put a few pickled jalapenos in there. So guys, you don't need those flavor packets for your taco meat either. This turns out so good. And you can tweak it. You can, if there's something that's too hot in there, just don't put that much in there, okay? We are gonna have some of this salsa with the nachos, so I'll put this over here too. Put a little spoon in that. I need my glass of champagne too. Because I'm telling you, as soon as we get those cookies out of there, it's almost go time for nachos. So we got 2 minutes before the cookies. Let me look at them and see. I don't know why we like that bubbly so much. It's literally like $15, $16 a bottle. Looking good. 2 minutes. We might need 3 minutes or something like that. Tell you what, we're going to prep the nachos. I'll show you how we do that. They'll be all ready. Okay, sometimes you can make your nachos on a foil covered baking sheet. That's totally fine. And foil is easier just to clean up the cheese. You just crumble it and throw it away. But we actually have this little platter. It's an oven-safe platter. It's kind of pretty, so we use that when we make nachos. It's perfect for the two of us. We don't make a ton of nachos. I used to try to make as big a nacho platter as I possibly could, especially when Teddy had friends coming over or whatever. The kids had friends that knew it was nacho night, and because of that, I also started switching it up. I have a recipe for Hawaiian nachos, and I put ham and bacon and what else do I put on it? Ham and bacon and some what else is on there? Barbecue sauce. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I have a version of our nachos that is like buffalo wing flavor. That's really good. Margot likes that one too. That's a good mix up. Okay, chips. Then the ground taco meat on top. And it's actually good if it's a little warm. So these will be fine. And I make 2 pounds, you guys. So as part of the meal prep Sunday, we hold on to the turkey or the ground turkey all week, and we make awesome taco salads and quick snack tacos. We do all kinds of stuff like that. So it's good to have just a thing of taco meat on hand. Okay, cookie timer's done. Yeah. All right, I'm pulling them out. Here we go, baby. And these gotta sit for a second. I hear you. Dismiss the timer. Okay, I will manually dismiss. You guys can see that. So what these are going to do is they're going to squish down a little bit as they cool. And they are so good. I got to check the bottoms of some of them. Perfect. This one I can see is a little brown. We got kind of an issue with our stove. So I'm going to let them sit and cool off. And now I've got the broiler going. So I'm going to let that heat up. So what I put on these nachos is really basic. I put Roma tomatoes that have been diced. I put Spanish onion that's been diced, and pickled jalapenos. And we use mild heat for our jalapenos, just so we could get a whole bunch of them on there. It's a little bit easier. Okay, so I put the meat, but I use mild cheddar cheese. And I've tried lots of different cheddar cheeses, but we're just using mild right now. It's the easiest thing to put the cheese in your hand, and then you can it's like making a pizza. Then you can kind of spread it out easier all over the place. All right, you guys, this is literally Margot's favorite birthday right here. Nachos and these cookies. I'm gonna put some more cheese on it. I got another bag. So sometimes like a bag and a half is about the amount that I want. So I just want a little bit more. Nice. Okay. That's good. Now the veggies go on. Same thing with the veggies. Just put them in your hand. It's easier to spread everything. I'm gonna use all these. And when I chop the veggies for these, you guys, I sprinkle a little bit of sea salt on them. And what that does is it really brings out the flavor of the vegetable. That's what salt does. It just enhances whatever flavor is in the fruit or vegetable. That's why sometimes you can put a little bit of salt on a piece of fruit and it really changes the flavor. It just doesn't make it salty. It brings out some more of the kind of the nuances of the fruit. All right, that's enough. Tomatoes. And I used a little bit of these jalapenos last night, so I'm just going to use the rest of this jar. That's probably pretty good. And these are going to be in the oven for probably 5 minutes, so we'll just chat for a while, right? I can plate up the cookies while this is in. Okay. Almost dropped it. Take that, and we're going to eat right here, so I'm going to clean this up a teeny little bit. I know Margot's dying to eat. I have these cool little cork pads that go on the countertop just to protect it a little bit. That's where we'll have our nachos. Margot will sit here. I will sit here. All right, we got a little bit of salsa. Yum. We got champagne. Got more champagne. What else do I need? A couple napkins. One for her, one for me. I used to use like forks and stuff. You just eat it all by hand. This is totally a finger food. Okay, I'm putting these babies in. What I do, you guys, is I actually lower the broiler. Sometimes when you broil food, you want it really close to the broiler. With nachos, I put it down a little bit because I don't want them to burn too fast. What happens with our stove is that the middle section of the nachos like melts and starts burning, and then the edges still they're not melted. So I lower it and let the whole thing heat it up. Okay? Let me plate up our cookies. I have a cool little plate. Oops, I misheard one. All right. Here. Do that. Those look good? Oh, I didn't have the other camera on. Dude, my phone died on me. So that is the cookies We'll get to those next. Let me try one. Oh man. So good. Hey Justin, clean that up. Kitchen dog. Good boy. Yum. And for whatever reason, champagne and the cookies just goes very well together. All right. Put that back there. Margo, we're almost ready.
I get to come in now?
Not yet, but almost, okay?
All right, I'll be patient. I can smell it. It smells so good.
Right on.
You can tell the timing is perfect with the sun setting. It's coming right through my window. All right, I'll let you finish.
All right. Oh, yum. Yum. All right. So I told you what goes in the taco meat, and if you want to see me make it again, go to the ground meat extravaganza. And I told you what's in the fresh guac. Well, two ripe avocados, and then a half a cup of diced Roma tomatoes. And the reason that I use Roma tomatoes is Roma tomatoes, they're the ones that look like little footballs. They're smaller. There's more meat and less juice. And in some recipes, you want the big, like steak tomatoes that have a lot of juice. You don't want that when you make guac. So I use Roma tomatoes, and then a half a cup of diced onions, and then one diced jalapeno. You have to really figure out. I told you I use a 2.5 inch fresh jalapeno, and it's not like I serve it to my mother-in-law. She likes it. It's not overly hot. Fresh jalapenos aren't always ridiculously spicy like some other crazy peppers. And then 2 tablespoons of fresh lime juice. And if you don't have fresh limes, you can also use the bottled lime juice. That's perfectly fine. I've done that in a pinch, and it's good. I used Joe and Nellie's Key West lime juice. It's really good to cook with. And then a teaspoon of salt, maybe a teaspoon and a half of salt. I just tasted that. It is perfecto. So she's got her champagne, her cookies, her guac. We're waiting on those nachos right now. She'll be out here in 2 seconds. Hey, Margo, you could come out now if you want, unless you're not done working. You know what just happened? My freaking broiler wasn't on. Kitchen disaster. That's the problem. Now we just get to chat. My broiler wasn't on. Ugh. So what kind of? I didn't do any of my jobs.
No,
I'm supposed to
did
put
it.
this on
I did it.
nachos.
I did
Oh,
it.
you did it?
I did that.
Oh, thank you.
Well, hi. I kind of messed up the macadamia nuts. I left it on too long.
Oh, that's all
Because
right.
I was working.
That's all right. So I didn't.
Oh my God, it
try
looks so
those.
good. I have to take a picture of that.
All right.
It looks so good. It smells so good. Hey, nobody cleaned up as you went.
I know. It's absolutely.
That is my job.
Yes.
Oh, that is so good. Okay. You have champagne. We got to.
Wait, where are you going?
I gotta take a picture.
Oh, you're going in the sunlight. Okay. So that's for Margo. Now let's check on our nachos.
So, now I've lost my phone. Oh, it's right here. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good.
I don't know what the deal is. I think there might be an issue with like having the oven on and going straight to the broiler. This is being really weird. It like turns off. I guess I've never done that, so we'll give it a shot. But
Okay, that's as good as we don't have time to get. We have really fancy equipment to take pictures, but since timing is an issue, we have to take a good picture of those too.
I'm not sure about that.
it's all right.
Oh, it's gonna kill me not to be able to eat these.
Why can't you?
How long is that gonna take?
I don't know, because I'm having a broiler issue. Oh, it's coming now.
Okay.
3 or 4 minutes.
So how long does this whole process normally take you?
It normally takes me less than an hour to cook,
And
including browning all of the
do you
taco meat.
Do you shop for it?
Yep.
Shop for it right before you come home?
Yep, on my way home.
Does Aubrey ever go get your ingredients for you? Or
Yes, yep. Aubrey does sometimes.
But Aubrey can get the champagne now.
Oh, nice.
Aubrey's 21st birthday.
24-year-old assistant.
Yesterday. Whoops. Here's our.
She just got all kinds of more valuable. didn't
Oh
she?
my gosh. Aubrey can bring champagne.
So I generally, on my way home from work, will go to the store, pick up the things I need. It's just like a total routine. Nacho Friday.
So good.
All right, now we're starting to melt. Okay. Man, that's weird. I never knew that about the
Boiler.
broiler. Where did you take our chips somewhere?
Yes, our chips are over here.
Okay.
I need to take pictures before we start eating them.
Oh. So what else can I tell you guys? You know how to jazz up your salsa? So I love paste salsa, the whole family does. And it seems like every family has their own brand of salsa. To jazz up our salsa, once in a while, we'll just chop up like a half a cup of cilantro and throw it in there, and it totally changes it. It's
so
awesome.
good.
And it makes it a little fancier.
So good. These are so warm.
My food cam went off because Stevie called me in the middle of.
Well, my mom called too. She didn't even know we were broadcasting today.
Oh man, we are good.
So good.
We are so good. I gotta turn this around one more time. We are. We're 1 minute away. Okay?
Alright, sounds good. Did you give them a cost? Approximate cost?
Cost of the dinner?
Yeah.
We've never done that. I have no idea. I know it's cheaper than going out. We used to, on Friday night, we used to always go out, and the thing that changed our mind with going out on Friday was how busy it was. We just, after working a full week, going out and like waiting 45 minutes for a table somewhere, we just started not getting super excited
Oh my
about
gosh.
going out.
I'll never forget. We'd get all excited. I'd get all dressed up. We'd jump in the car. We wouldn't have one reservation anywhere. We would just think we could walk in wherever. I mean, we
Just
don't
never-
live in a huge city. It's not like LA or downtown Chicago or New York. And we would go to some of our favorite restaurants, and the line would be out the door. And it just was such a bummer.
This wasn't worth it. So we started making fun stuff at home, and that's probably when we started doing Nacho Friday. Because instead of going, getting dressed up a little bit and going out and eating, we just were like,
Oh,
I'm so tired.
all I
Let's
want
just
to do is like put on comfy clothes.
put on sweatpants or yoga pants or whatever, and have a glass of wine and eat nachos.
Oh, it's so good.
All right, let's go
My
time.
favorite. So that
Hello. So, can you see?
So good.
That is the semi-famous Drake Nacho Friday nachos.
Yay! Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for working through some of this new recording technology with us. This is super fun. It'll allow us to have some pretty cool guests on in the future. And you did that all in about 55 minutes. And we always start with talking a little bit. So it was probably about 50 minutes. It's fun. We highly encourage it. It's better than going out and waiting, 45 minutes to get a table on Friday nights. Your family, if it's not nachos, maybe it can be something else, but nachos are fun. And our family just knows what's happening on Friday night. So they'll just kind of trickle in when we're not expecting them. It's fun.
That's it. It's not fancy, but it's awesome.
Thank you.
Let's see.
So if you've liked this episode today, please take a minute and comment, share. Tell us what your favorite part was. We always want to see your recipes on social media. So don't eat that. We have to take a picture. So,
Are you kidding me?
yes, I know. I'm trying to wrap up fast. So please use the hashtag Dfam Meal Prep. There'll be 2 M's next to each other, Dfam Meal Prep. We'd love to share your creations on social media and see what your versions are. And thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate all of our viewers every single week. It keeps us accountable, and we really look forward to it every single week. So thank you.
See you guys. Thank you very much. Try a Nacho Friday.